It was a bright and sunny morning, and Clara was bubbling with excitement. Today was the day of the big hike. She had been looking forward to it for weeks. Her class was going on an adventure to the Misty Peak, a beautiful mountain just outside the town. Clara had never been on a mountain hike before, and she could hardly wait to explore the trails, see the tall trees, and breathe the fresh mountain air. Clara's backpack was packed with everything she would need: water, snacks, and a map of the trail. She double-checked to make sure she had everything, then hurried downstairs where her parents were waiting. "Are you ready for your big adventure, Clara?" her mom asked with a smile. "Ready as ever," Clara replied, adjusting her backpack straps. At school, Clara met up with her friends Leo, Emma, and Max. They were all equally excited about the hike. Their teacher, Miss Adams, gathered everyone around and gave instructions. "Remember, the hike will be fun, but it's also important to stay together and help each other. We're climbing Misty Peak, and it's a challenging trail. If we work as a team, we'll make it to the top and enjoy the amazing view together." Clara nodded eagerly. She had heard that from the top of the mountain. You could see the entire valley, with its shimmering rivers and rolling hills. It sounded like a magical place. The group started off on the trail, which wound its way through a thick forest. Tall pine trees lined the path, their needles brushing against the sky. The air smelled fresh, and birds chirped from the branches above. Clara walked next to Leo, who was pointing out different types of plants and flowers along the way. "Look, Clara, that's a wild rose, and over there is some lavender." "I didn't know you knew so much about nature," Clara said, impressed. "I love learning about plants," Leo replied with a grin. "They're so interesting." As they walked, the trail began to grow steeper. Clara could feel her legs working harder, and the group's pace slowed down. Max, who was usually full of energy, was starting to lag behind. "This is harder than I thought," Max panted, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Don't worry, Max," Emma said encouragingly. "We're all in this together. Let's take a little break." Miss Adams nodded in agreement, and the group stopped for a rest. Clara offered Max some of her water, and the group sat down on some rocks, enjoying the shade of the trees. After a few minutes, they were ready to continue. The trail twisted and turned, and soon they reached a rocky section of the mountain. Clara looked up and saw that the path ahead was much steeper, with large rocks they would have to climb over. "Whoa," Emma said, her eyes wide. "This looks tricky." Clara felt a little nervous, but Miss Adams smiled and said, "This is where teamwork comes in. We'll help each other, and we'll get over these rocks one step at a time." Clara nodded, feeling a little more confident. She started climbing over the rocks, carefully placing her hands and feet. Leo was right behind her, making sure she didn't slip, while Max helped Emma navigate the larger boulders. Step by step, they made their way up the rocky section. It was tough, but Clara felt proud of herself each time she climbed over a big rock. By the time they reached the top of the rocky section, everyone was smiling. "We did it!" Max cheered, raising his arms in victory. Ms. Adams gave them a thumbs up. "Great job, everyone. You worked together, and now we're one step closer to the top." The trail continued, and soon they reached a clearing where they could see the valley below. Clara's breath caught in her throat. The view was incredible. The trees stretched out like a green carpet, and in the distance, she could see a river sparkling in the sunlight. "This is amazing," Clara whispered. "We're almost at the top," Ms. Adams said. "Just a little further to go." As they climbed higher, the trail became narrower and the air grew cooler. They passed more rocks and even a small stream trickling down the side of the mountain. Clara splashed some of the cool water on her face, feeling refreshed. Finally, after what felt like hours of climbing, the group reached the summit of Misty Peak. Clara gasped in awe. The view from the top was even more breathtaking than she had imagined. The entire valley stretched out before them, and beyond that, mountains rolled into the horizon like waves in the ocean. "We made it," Clara said, her heart soaring with pride. Everyone cheered, and Miss Adams gathered the group around. "I'm so proud of you all," she said. "You worked hard, helped each other, and now look at this incredible reward. This is the beauty of nature, and you earned it by never giving up." Clara sat down on a rock, pulling out her snacks and sharing them with her friends. As they ate, they talked about their favorite parts of the hike. Leo loved learning about the plants, Max was proud of climbing the rocks, and Emma was excited about the amazing view. For Clara, the best part was the feeling of accomplishment. She had been nervous at times, and the hike had been harder than she expected, but she had made it to the top with her friends by her side. It was a lesson she would never forget. When you work hard and support each other, you can accomplish great things. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the mountains, the group started their hike back down the mountain. Clara looked back at Misty Peak one last time, feeling a sense of peace and happiness. The mountain had taught her many things that day: the beauty of nature, the importance of teamwork, and the value of determination. She smiled, knowing that she would carry those lessons with her wherever she went. And as they made their way back to the school bus, Clara felt a new sense of adventure bubbling inside her. There were so many more mountains to climb, so many more trails to explore. This was just the beginning.